Hello, welcomes everyone. Today's our chapter is human reproduction. This is third chapter of your NCRT book, and mainly will now be contain the male reproductive system, female reproductive system, and related functioning. So in first video, we will cover the male reproductive system. So as everyone well aware about it, the human are the animal and they are the viviparous because they are giving the birth to a mature child. And there is a well sexual dimorphism in the human beings, so easily we can recognize on the basis of the morphological features male and female. So not only they morphologically different, they physiologically and anatomically they are also being different from each other. So to facilitate our study, we divided the human reproductive system into two parts. In first part, the male reproductive system, and second is the female reproductive system. So first we will go through the male reproductive system. Figure number 3.1a and 3.1b both are clearly denoting the structure of male reproductive system. They are well labeled figure. Here you also seeing in the slide. This is the figure of male reproductive system. So as you will see the figure, you can see the some main structures. Those who now be consist the male reproductive system is testes, scrotum, penis, prostate gland, vasa deferens, seminal vesicle, and bulbourethral duct. These are the main or the major structure which are involved in the male reproductive system. But here as you seeing that with the reproductive part, some more structures are given just like the urinary bladder and the ureter. So it is not only the system which used only for the reproduction, this is a system which also helps us for the excretion of urine. How the urine form and how it can now be transported from the kidney to here, this already you got the knowledge in the class 11. So as to facilitate our study about the male reproductive system, we divided into the several parts. So we categorizes under the four group. First is the pair testis. This is the main structure of male reproductive system. Afterward, the accessory ducts are there. Testes are the main functional organ, but with the help of some duct, they are proceeding their functions. To functioning well, they also need the some accessory duct. In human reproductive system, in the male body, some gland also be involved. They help in the nourishment, maturation, and transport of the gamete and their development. And afterward, the last is here external genitalia. Whatsoever the structure will form or the gamete will form, we have to release outside the body. So, with the help of external genitalia, they will do this function. So, one pair testes is the main part of male reproductive system. Among the accessory duct, the main ducts are here: reta testi, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vasa deferens. Afterward, the accessory gland, prostate gland, seminal vesicle, Cowper's gland, or we can also say the bulbourethral gland. And the external genitalia, this is the penis. One by one, we will go through them and we will discuss in detail. One paired testis. Testes are located outside the abdominal cavity in a sac. This is known as scrotum or scrotal sac. The formation of sperm takes place in the testes and afterward they go to the epididymis and from there they go to the vasa deferens as you are seeing in figure. So as you see the figure clearly, the doubts will now be clear to you how it now be forms. See here. This is the scrotum, testes are here, epididymis is here and vasa deferens is there. If you learn in a sequence, there will be no mistake as you write the functioning also. So in the slide you seeing that some writing comments are there. Testes are the primary sex organ. They help to produce the sperm as well as a hormone testosterone. Testes are outside the abdominal cavity. Reason I think well known to you because in class 12 also the some portion of this system was there. So as they proceeding the formation of a sperm which need the somewhat low temperature than the body temperature. At least they require 2 to 2.5 degree less temperature than the 37 degree Celsius. So that's why the testes are located outside the body. Each testis is now be divided into some lobules. These lobules are known as testicular lobules. The number of testicular lobules likely be 250 in each testis. And these testicular lobules are contain 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. It means each lobule will carry either 1, 2 or 3 seminiferous tubules. These seminiferous tubules are the actually main sites where the formation of sperms takes place. Because these seminiferous tubules are lined by some special type of cells, these are known as spermatogenic cell. We can also say male germ cell. These cells are the essential cell which are required for the sperm formation. Afterward, one more type of cells are there. These are known as the Sertoli cells. These are also known as the supporting cells. These cells help to maintain the shape of sperm and to nourish them. Here you seeing a diagrammatic sectional view of seminiferous tubules. This figure also came in previous year board examination. Several time it came. And as here you are seeing the some labeling with the figure. So in spite of these labeling, they writing A, B, C, D and asking the student to write their correct label. So if here any doubt with the comment easily you can understand. Spermatogonial cells, these are the main germ cells. Afterward then they get converted into the primary spermatocyte, then secondary spermatocyte, then it will convert into spermatid, then finally the spermatozoa or sperm will form. And after that the sperm will form or spermatozoa will now be there, mature form, then they will now be embedded in the cell of Sertoli which provide them nutrition. This is one more sectional view of a pair of testes. The figure also came in the board examination for the labeling purpose. So you see that, and in your NCRT book, this figure is given with the 3.2. The region outside the seminiferous tubules are the interstitial space. This space contains the small blood vessels, interstitial cells or the leading cells, and immunologically competent cell. Small blood vessels are there, you can understand. They help to maintain the blood supply and nutrition supply in this area. Interstitial, interstitial or leading cells, they help to secreting a hormone, testicular hormone, it is known as androgen. And the immunologically competent cells, they help them to maintain them their health. If any pathogen or anything now be invade, then the cells are capable, they complete them and they destroy the pathogen. So as we completed the testes part, now we are coming toward the accessory duct. These are the some main accessory ducts are there. Name already you have seen in the first slide. Again name in the sequence: reta testi, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vasa deferens. So the reta testi, they are now be located here in irregular cavities. Vasa efferentia, a series of fine tubules. It is in the figure, you see the enlarged view, you can easily see there. Reta testi, see the irregular cavities, and the vasa efferentia is seeing there. These are the ducts are here. Differential is somewhat outside, and this also one important duct, epididymis. As you are seeing, they all now will labeled with the some blue color, rest all with the black. So what are their function? Simply the formation of sperms takes place in the testes, in the seminiferous tubules. Then from there they come towards the epididymis. Then from that they go to the vasa differentia, and then they go to the ejaculatory duct and then urethra, then come out from the body. Now here in this slide we will see that how the ducts are arranged in a series and functioning well to facilitate the transport of sperm from the testes to outward body. The formation of sperm takes place in the seminiferous tubules, which are located in the testicular lobules. There are 250 lobules are there, and each lobule now contains 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Afterward that the sperm now moves from seminiferous to the tubules to the reta testi. Then from the reta testi it moves to the vasa efferentia, and from vasa efferentia it moves to the epididymis, and from epididymis it moves to the vasa deferens. And then from here it will go to the common ejaculatory duct, and the duct will now be joined to urethra, and from that urethral meatus sperm will release outside the body. Urethral mat is also the structure which releases urine outside the body, and urethra is the structure which is responsible for the transporting both the things, sperm and urine, from outside the body. The urethra receives the duct of prostate and Cowper's gland and passing through the penis. Some glands, before that we studied about the duct, now we are coming to the gland part. There are some important gland, without that we cannot say that our reproductive system or the male reproductive system can function properly. So here accessory gland, they include a pair of seminal vesicle. A pair of seminal vesicle is here with the comment and figure you seeing what is the correct location of all these glands. Now a prostate gland. Now afterward a pair of Cowper's or bulbourethral gland. The collective secretion of all these glands are known as seminal plasma. It is rich in fructose, calcium and enzymes which help to nourish and transport the sperm well. The seminal plasma and sperm both collectively are known as semen. Now what is the function of seminal plasma? It helps in the transport, helps in the nourishment, the medium, or we can say the pH is slight alkaline. Seminal plasma having alkaline pH which help to neutralize the acidity of uterus. Secretion of Cowper's gland helps to lubricate the penis. Secretion of epididymis, vasa deferens, seminal vesicule and prostate glands. They all help to maturity and motility of sperm. Maybe the main part of maturation takes place in epididymis. Now the last part of this male reproductive system is penis, external genitalia. It is a non-bony part. There is no bone in the penis. It is a copulatory organ which help to be copulate the male to female, and we can say help in coitus, or simply we can say the organ which help to release the sperm from male body to the female body. It is made up of some special erectile spongy tissues, and these type of tissues having a enriched blood supply. So as the blood supply of in these tissues get increased, then penis will come into the erectile form. When spongy tissues is filled with the blood, the penis erects. It facilitates the insemination. Insemination means the releasing of semen from the penis, or we can say from the body. Releasing out the semen is known as insemination. The cone-shaped tip of penis. It is known as glans penis. It is a sensitive structure. It is covered by a skin. It is known as foreskin. In some religions, due to some religious view, they are removing the foreskin in the early stage of life, likely in the childhood or before the puberty, due to some religious issues. Now, as we completed the male reproductive system, I hope that you got all your doubts. Maybe still the doubt get remain. You can put your doubt in the Google Classroom. Now, thanks to join this.